Well, hi guys, and welcome to my 100 subscriber special. First of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of the people, the 100 people that subscribe to my channel, and now led to me being able to make this special because I didn't really think I would make 100 subs just by posting my art and only making 3 YouTube videos. Like, I haven't even uploaded in like 6 months and I still gained subscribers because of art I uploaded on posts. And I appreciate it very much because even if 100 people isn't really much in the eyes of probably everyone out there, to me personally, it just shows that there were that many people that actually found my channel and through that wanted to subscribe to me because they liked what I created, and that is the best thing I can think of. But either way, I would like to come to the actual point of the video because it's pretty long and the topic is very special to me and has followed me for about 3 years now. And I hope to end or rather even change the chapter for the better. So this video is going to be about my own variation of boyfriend and girlfriend from Final Funkin', as you could probably see by my title and thumbnail. And it's just because, as I said, it's very special. These two characters have followed me since I started drawing, and that's 3 years now, and I grew way too attached to them, even though they aren't even original at all. Though for what this video is going to be about, first off I would like to quickly just talk with you guys about why I even created them, and I want to talk about all the ideas I took from other people to put on my characters, because to this day I still don't feel comfortable about their design, and a lot of things that you see on them even this day didn't even come from me personally. And I still see these two sometimes as just a bunch of ideas put together, but those ideas not even being my own. And before starting, I would like to apologize in advance in case I may speak a bit fast or a bit hard to understand. English is not my main language and I'm not really used to making videos like this, but I just thought talking with you guys in the intro because of this special occasion is better than just putting a lot of text on the screen. But anyway, it all started with one community game video that I saw about 3 years ago, if I'm correct. And that video was about a showcase of a new Sonic.exe song that came out back then, which came out after the cancellation, if I remember correctly. And that video specifically was about the song Malediction, including the character Curse. And after looking into the song, I really liked it. I genuinely really loved the song, and I still to this day, even if I don't listen to it that much anymore, I still like it a lot. And the character himself was pretty interesting to me because he wasn't just another scary EXE, and he was actually a bit more special. At least I saw it like that, because I can remember that Curse was pretty hated in the community and maybe even still is to this day, because I don't know that much about him nowadays, but he got a big change in his design and all, which is why I don't like him that much anymore, but that's whatever. Fact is, because of the song, because of the video, I started to like the character a lot, and with more time and more looking more into the character, I eventually decided I want to make my own Friday Night Funkin' mod about the character himself. And that was already when I was playing a lot of Friday Night Funkin', because I have been in the community since its beginning, I think. And as said, I wanted to make a mod about Curse, which I want to call the Curse of X back then. Though, when I was scripting the mod, so writing all of my ideas down, I planned there to be normal BF and GF, as you guys know it with probably most mods. But one day later, I can remember it very clearly, I just wanted to create my own variation and put them into the mod, because even back then when I was just a player, I loved all of these different variations of boyfriend and girlfriend, like D-side, trepidation, lullaby, neo, and how many more there are nowadays. I I think it's one of the best things in this modding community for Friday Night Funkin'. All of these alternate universes with all the different character designs and everything. I loved it back then and I love it nowadays still. And that is pretty much the reason why I wanted to try and make my own characters. But then I ran into the problem, how do you actually design a character when you don't even really know how to draw or how to actually properly design a character? And then came the idea on, why not just take design ideas from other characters I really liked in the community and just put them together onto my variations. And back then it sounded way better than it is nowadays, but anyway, that was my plan. And yeah, that is pretty much where it all started. So, to start things off, my own variation of BF and GF are called Curse Boyfriend and Curse Girlfriend, named after the character that is pretty much the reason they even exist, and that being Curse. But personally, I'm more so going to refer to them by their real names, being Nate and Julie. And right now, I would just like to quickly try to name all the people I got inspired of to create these characters and from which people I basically took ideas and put onto them even throughout time. And also, overall, I just want to talk a bit about them, and for the people who are interested, just say what ideas I had on them, and not only talk of who they got inspired of. But first of all, they were always meant to be bigger in size, but that is simply because back then I didn't really like the idea of having them small like BF and GF in the base game. Plus, another artist really inspired me throughout these times, that YouTuber or just artist being, and I hope I don't butcher his name, Desico. That guy is literally to this day an idol figure in my eyes. I love the way he draws, I love how he animates, and I love every single video of him. I've watched him since I found his channel back then when he made that cassette resprite video, and haven't stopped watching him since then. So he's a very big inspiration for why I want to draw characters bigger, but in my own way, and not replicate his art style or something like that. I just want to find my own way to make characters look special with more normal bodies. For personality, I didn't change much on Nate. He's just a confident, friendly, upcoming singer, probably like boyfriend himself. But for Julie, I changed some stuff to make her very different to normal GF. That being that she is a more shy, reserved, anxious, and naive type of girl. And that is mostly because of her childhood and because of her family's bad history. Then for the design itself, I would just start with Nate. The cap and hair he has was mostly just taken from Hypno's Lullaby, and more specifically the song Monochrome, the character Silver. Because back then the mod was still new and I loved it a lot. And I just loved the design of Silver, and so I took his cap and his hair. And even if the hair of Nate changed quite a lot over the years, the cap always stayed the same. Next up is the fluffy stuff and the stripes you can see on his shoes, the fingerless gloves he wears, and the piercings he has on his ear. That's all things I just took from Curse. Other than those things, the X on his hoodie changed quite a bit over time, but it ended up being an X because of the mod he was supposed to originate from, being the Curse of X, the mod I wanted to create. Now I would like to mention another artist, that one being Kefino Pitts, the creator of the Undertale FNF mod Last Determined. Most people probably know about him. He's a really talented artist and composer, and the boyfriend design he made in the mod really inspired me back then. And because of him, I pretty much changed the way I did draw clothing in general and hair. Last up, a very special thing about Nate. Back then, and still to this day, I loved the Friday Night Funkin' Corruption. The one from Monster that you can see in Winter Horrorland in the base game. and the one that inspired so many mods out there. And I wanted to have something similar. But before I got that idea, I was very often watching another animation YouTuber, that one being Paul. He was, well, he still is, a YouTuber who makes a lot of animations, and years ago he made a lot of Friday Night Funkin' animations, but he drew the characters in a more anime-like style. And I, back then, when watching his videos, really loved how he wrote Boyfriend, because he was the normal, overly confident boyfriend, but when there was someone he couldn't beat or someone who pushed his body to its limits, basically Monster took over him, and then he was some kind of evil boyfriend who was way more powerful and able to defeat mostly anything. Plus, seeing his animations back then and how he did draw boyfriend and girlfriend and the stuff they did in the animations and all that really inspired me to try and draw my characters in with more normal bodies, because I also saw the potential you have when you use normal bodies instead of the small ones in the base game. But that's everything for Nate. Next up is Julie. She shares the same gloves and piercing that also Nate has, plus she has a 2-colored heart on her hoodie and as a piercing, which are two things I at some point added to her, and it was pretty much just there to show the connection between these two way more. Like, I wanted to have something on GF, on my GF variation, that shows how much they love each other and things like that. Though, you gotta say, the glove and piercing, plus the boots you can see on her, are pretty much just taken off of Curse. For her clothing and why she wears this hoodie and skirt and short combination, that idea pretty much came from a character from a completely different game. For the people who do know the game, it's Dead by Daylight, specifically the character Legion, because back then when I created these two I was still playing the game, I think, and I loved the character, and I just want to do something similar on my girlfriend variation. And even if it didn't really succeed, because I had no idea how to really draw, she still got inspired a lot from that character. Then, Julie's hair and her demonic abilities are just taken from another GF variation, or very much inspired by another GF variation. And that one being the Trepidation Girlfriend, the old one, I want to say. Because the mod is being reworked and I'm very hyped to see what the team is going to do for the mod, because back then and still to this day, I love the mod. And I'm so happy to see it's going to be completely remade. But I'm getting off the track a bit. As said, Trepidation Girlfriend was the main inspiration. You can see it on Julie with a bit of her hair going over her eye, the ponytail she has. Julie being able to heal wounds, to teleport to different universes. Though I gotta say, Trepidation Girlfriend wasn't really able to travel between universes. I just got the idea when BF and GF in the mod got into the Pokemon world, and GF had to charge up her magic powers to get them out of there, whilst BF was fighting Gold. And then I just got the idea, how about I give my character universe traveling as an ability, which was the main thing of her and still is to this day. And at last, this is nothing that specifically came from another character, but it's the one big horn that is always visible on her. That is because I always wrote her to be a half-bred demon with kind of having a disability, and that disability being that she isn't able to turn into her full demon form and is also not able to hide the things that are stuck on her. Though the horn is not the only demonic thing on her, when I was making the more recent character sheet you were able to see in my post if you saw it, I also added a tail to her with a damaged spaded tip. That was mostly because at that time I just started to like GF's demon form in general way more, and wanted my GF variation to have more demon stuff on her as well. And at last, the big tooth you can always see in her mouth, that was from the beginning always meant to be a thing to make her look cuter. But over time, that then evolved into another demon feature, and it just evolving into a more fang-like thing, and not just some tooth to make her cute. And at last, because I almost forgot it, the color you can see in Julie's and Nate's eyes, the red and blue hue that is in it there, is something I literally just took from the Witty Erect mod back then when I played it, because the boyfriend there also had blue color in his eyes and I really liked the idea, and since then put it in mostly every single BF and GF drawing I made since then. If you look back onto my posts, you can see me do that on most characters. And yeah, that is pretty much it. As said, pretty much everything I can say about them, about their personality, about their design and abilities in general. And even if some say I'm a bit exaggerating when saying they are inspired way too much, I think it's like that, and I really want to change them at some point. Though right now, with the ability, with my skill in drawing, I don't think I'm able to do that, because as you will see in the next section, I put a lot of time into them already and haven't really succeeded in anything. And overall, to me personally, they just don't look original with all these things that I took inspiration of back then. But I am just way too stubborn to change a thing on them because I'm so used to it, if you guys get what I mean. But enough of them now. This video is gonna be long enough already. I didn't even plan for this starting part to be this long, but I just had a lot of stuff I want to say about them. And I thought to myself, if I'm really doing this, I'm really gonna explain everything and describe everything about them. So for the people who listened to me and were interested, I'm really thankful for that. But I now want to go off to the next section, where you will just see all the art or most art I ever made about my own characters in Friday Night Funkin' in the last 3 years. And I'm sorry in advance. The pacing may be weird, some things could go by too fast, just pause the video, because on every single artwork I also put some notes on the bottom, which are things I just wanted to share with you guys. So again, thank you if you listen to me, and I hope you won't be bored too much in the next section, because I put a lot of time into it, and I just want to share it with you guys. So yeah, enough of my talking, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Getting freaky on a Friday night yet.
And that is everything I wanted to show you guys. You just saw most art I ever created of my characters since I began drawing until nowadays. And I just want to say a few more things, like I know that this video is not gonna perform well because, like, who is interested in a topic like this, especially if the video is this long? But I don't really care about that. I don't even care if it only hits 100 views, not even that. I put a lot of time into it. I wanted to make this video reality, and it's just the most special thing to me, and it's way more special than all the silly Billy concepts I made before this video. So I don't really care how it performs, but anyway, I just quickly wanted to say some more things, like it may sound stupid to all of you, but most things you have just seen are things that I remember very well. I mean, most of them I remember very well, but I am not really proud of most of them or any of them at all. Like, I wouldn't go back to them nowadays and like pick them for something to remake nowadays or something to finish, maybe even. Like, everything is pretty much scrapped and just past, past things. And the problem I just have with these two is that I mostly, when I see some other artists' work or something, there are two options, and those are either that I get really hyped up and want to try something myself, and if I try myself, then I do something with my OCs, and then mostly or all the time fail at it and get all sad and unmotivated. Or the other is if I made something good and look at someone else's work, which is like 100 times better than what I made, I quickly look back at the thing I made and start to hate it because I think, wow, why should I care? This is not even good in comparison to this one. And yeah, that's the worst thing you can do, but I have been doing that for 3 years now, and it's really hard for me to not do it. But yeah, these two, as said, I grew so attached to them, and even if sometimes I played it like I hated them or want to delete them, I could never do it because even if those are just some Friday Night Funkin' characters, I always saw them as my characters and something I want to be proud of and want to get out there in the community. And to this day, I didn't succeed in it at all, not even a bit. So yeah, the only thing I can say is I'm sorry and I'm going to try to be better, and not only with my OCs. Like, if I look at my most recent posts, I just like to draw a lot of variations of BF and GF, and I struggle a lot still with trying to find my own way of making them look special. Like, most times, you guys, if you look more closely, you can see that I always try some new things. And to this day, I haven't really found that. And even if it's only been 3 years, like, people will say, yeah, you need way more time and all that. I don't really care about that. I put a lot of time into this. And the only thing that is the problem with me that is that I am very stubborn and not really practicing some things. The practicing I'm doing is pretty much just trying over and over again, as you could have, as you just saw in the art section. But yeah, I can just say I wanna try to be better, not always draw like the same poses, like the same boring standing pose and all that, because I struggle with dynamic poses and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just repeating myself. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to be better. And yeah, again, this video was very special. I put a lot of time into it and pretty much used the entire month up for it, even in the week where I wasn't really able to work because I was sick. I still tried to work on the video, and yeah, if I never got really any satisfying results, it won't get me down that easily. Like, I've been doing it for 3 years and I always got back up at some point. It's just a matter of when do I get another push of motivation and when do I lose it again. But I just hope at some point it changes for the better. Because I can't really do this forever, like continue the way I do right now. Like another problem is also that when I look at other people's art, like other people's sprite from a mod or something, I I not only play Friday Night Funkin' because of the music. When I play a mod, I really look a lot into the art. And even after playing the mod, I go into the wiki, look at the sprites more precise, and mostly I just see them as something perfect. And I want to have the same feel. I have like a specific feeling when looking at something in a mod, and that's a feeling I wish to have on something that I created, but I never really had that feeling. And when I had that feeling, a day later, like I explained in my art section in some notes, it was gone and I hated it again. But anyway, enough talking. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, even if this video got way longer than I planned it to be, and I talked way more than I wanted. But again, thank you all for 100 subs, and I'm going to try to be better at drawing and make some more special things that I always dreamed of making, to maybe at some point even find my place in the community as someone who can maybe even inspire others. And at last, for people who actually watched the video this far, I also, for the special occasion of 100 subs, have one more surprise I wanted to show you. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you around in probably the next post I'm going to make. See ya.